Tonight we are remembering the legendary artist Prince, who passed away this morning.
See It Live starts right now.
Purple rain, purple rain, oh yeah.
The world has lost a revolutionary artist, one of the most influential musicians of our time. Tonight, millions are remembering Prince, who died today at the age of 57. Good evening, I'm Neha Wadekar.
And I'm Atal Wallace. Prince was found unconscious in an elevator at his home in Minneapolis this morning. There's no word yet on the cause of his death. Prince had many impressive milestones in his career as a musician and performer. Here's a look back at a few highlights.
Annenberg Media's Cole Sullivan is live in Leimert Park, where fans are gathering to remember Prince. Cole?
That's right. As the nation and indeed the world begins to mourn the loss of the pop superstar, many people have gathered here at this park behind me in South LA. They're starting to gather for a vigil to remember Prince and share his music, remembering his favorite songs from 1999 to Purple Rain to my personal favorite, Little Red Corvette. It's really incredible to see the impact on people's lives that this music has had. People who have never seen him in concert, never met him, but have connected with him through his groundbreaking performances at the Super Bowl and through his music. I spoke with one friend who had the chance to see his final show in Atlanta a week ago. She said it was quiet, it wasn't what she expected, just Prince sitting at a piano, but it was definitely still Prince. It was definitely still experimental and personal and emotional, and she says she feels really lucky that she got to see such a revolutionary artist in person. And I think that's really the feeling you have here tonight, is so many people feel lucky to have experienced such a revolutionary artist and to have shared the music with such a revolutionary artist, and they're hoping that through events like this, through sharing music, through sharing memories, that they'll continue to have his legacy live on. And if you ask me, I think it's definitely going to. Reporting live from Leimert Park in South LA for Annenberg Media, I'm Cole Sullivan.
Cole, thank you. Famous record store and Hollywood landmark Amoeba Music is paying tribute to Prince. The store reached out to fans on Twitter and encouraged them to buy his music and write messages to the musician. A steady stream of music lovers came in and out of Amoeba today, some of them shopping for Prince's music. We talked to customers about their reactions to Prince's death.
I couldn't believe it at first. I didn't think it was, I thought it was a hoax. But then it's just a shame, really.
He's also, I think, influenced almost every R&B or pretty much every aspect of music.
I could say that probably some of his music would be on the soundtrack to my life.
That's gotta be something, right? Living in the hearts of hundreds of people, thousands, millions of people.
And unlike some artists who never receive recognition for their work during their lifetime, Prince was a celebrated figure in the entertainment industry. He sold more than 100 million records throughout his career, making him one of the best-selling artists of all time. Prince also won 7 Grammys, as well as an Oscar for the score of Purple Rain, and a Golden Globe. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2004, the very first year he became eligible. He was also named number 24 on Rolling Stone's 100 Greatest Artists of All Time. Prince was well known for his fierce independence over his creative work, going as far as to change his name to an unpronounceable symbol to get out of a contract with Warner Brothers. A prolific artist, Prince will continue to be celebrated in his death as he was during his life. With more on his accomplishments, we have Veronica Casada live at the Grammy Museum. Veronica?
Thanks, Neha. We're here in front of the Grammy Museum, and as Neha mentioned earlier, Prince won 7 Grammys throughout his career. The first Grammy was for Best Album for Motion Picture, and the last Grammy, he got was in 2007 for the Best R&B Male Vocal Performance. Now, we were here earlier today to speak to fans about how they thought Prince's music made an impact on the music industry.
I'm very shocked and very sad about it. Face of music, so very devastating.
It was Facebooking, and then somebody said part of music died with him.
I know a lot of people looked up to him for inspiration for their music, and yeah, it was a big loss to the music world.
Now, Prince got to travel with amazing bands throughout his career, and we actually got a chance to speak to one of his trombone players that worked with him just a couple of months ago.
People know he's a genius, and they know how much he changed music, but until you work with him, you don't have any idea. So it's beyond that. So yeah, it's I'm having a hard time dealing with it. Yeah, there was something almost supernatural about him, and he just almost seemed eternal. And for him to pass away is just, his music will live on, but boy, I just didn't see that coming. Just somehow he almost didn't seem like he was human. And it was a lesson, from beginning to end. There was always some little challenge and always some little Prince thing, and he just went, that's what makes Prince Prince.
As you can see, Prince's influence reached far beyond his records to everyone that got to work with him. At the Grammy Museum, I'm Veronica Quesada. Back to you, Neha.
We spoke with photojournalist and USC professor Mickey Turner, who toured with Prince during the 80s and had some unforgettable stories to share.
It was thrilling. I mean, he was so iconic. He was kind of that tribrid, not a hybrid. He was kind of a tribrid. He was like Michael Jackson, James Brown, and Sly Stone, all rolled into one. And so his shows were just very exciting. The anticipation of him coming out, because he was so enigmatic and so eclectic, just added to the whole package. And I just remember, standing there in the pit, looking at him and, capturing that one shot, because this was when we were still shooting with film, and capturing that one shot where we made that eye contact. I was like, yeah, that's the one.
And Annenberg Media's Aidan McMillan sat down with USC student Sean Myers, who also worked with Prince almost 5 years ago to the day. He told us what it was like to work with this pop icon.
What I remember about that day working with him was that his engineer was fairly new, and I knew that engineer from prior work. And I remember Prince at one point leaving the stage, and he had a wireless guitar. So here he is walking around the venue with his guitar. And he goes up to the balcony where the engineer is with the console, and he proceeds to sound check the band basically over the guy's shoulder for 25 minutes, just being like, no, I think it should be like that. I think it should be like that. And of course the engineer's listening to him because Prince did all this stuff for his music. So it's like the guy's so qualified, but there he is basically mixing his own show and getting it prepared. And I really think that speaks to how involved he was in everything. His fingerprints really were on everything he did.
Now, some students studying music at the USC Thornton School said Prince was an inspiration to their music. They applaud Prince's influence on the music industry.
Everything he touches is pretty much gold. So like, I've learned to play also like guitar, piano, bass, drums, and a couple other instruments. Like he was definitely a big inspiration for me to like try to get my hands on everything.
I think he's one of the most fearless musicians, most authentic, original people out there, and he's kind of in your face.
He's just he's a really influential artist in a lot of different ways. He had that whole dispute with Warner Chappell, and the artist formerly known as Prince. He was one of the most mainstream artists to have such a run-in with his label, and how he was able to deal with that and overcome that is really big.
Prince's impact was felt around the world today, with celebrities and fans showing their love on Twitter. Musicians, sports teams, and even national leaders paid tribute to the late superstar. President Obama tweeted, "A strong spirit transcends rules." Prince once said, and nobody in nobody's spirit was stronger, bolder, or more creative. Madonna tweeted, "He changed the world, a true visionary. What a loss. I'm devastated. This is not a love song." Justin Timberlake said, "Numb, stunned, this can't be real." And a tweet from the Minnesota Twins said, "Fitting that it's raining in Minneapolis today." Annenberg PR professor Matthew Levesque said Prince was everywhere on social media.
From the entertainment culture, we went back quickly and looked at the first 2 days of the new Star Wars movie opening in December, and the volume on Prince today exceeds the first 2 days of Star Wars, the new Star Wars movie from December. There's approximately 5.6 million tweets. As I told you earlier, today we're already in excess of 6 million tweets, and it's climbing rapidly.
And right now we're looking at a live feed of Twitter, and as we see here, there's a lot of people commenting. I'm going to start with Casey Straw, who actually said, "We lost a great artist today, hashtag Prince," and she gave a quote here, "We could all die any day, but before I'll let that happen, I'll dance my life away." That's from Prince there. And People Magazine, of course, and many other media outlets, including US Weekly, saying many things about Prince. US Weekly saying, "Boy, George, on Prince's passing, today is the worst day ever." So a lot of people feeling very saddened about this. And Cher, of course, the music, another musician said, "I'm sad beyond belief about Prince. This has been a frightening time. So many losses, so many great people just gone," with a broken heart right there. And off stage, Prince was known for being an activist for many causes. For starters, he was a vegetarian and was extremely vocal about animal rights issues. The animal rights group PETA even named him sexiest vegetarian alive. Prince was also a devout Jehovah's Witness, and from time to time he knocked on strangers' doors to talk about his faith. But perhaps more than anything else, Prince was known for being a champion of social justice. In his early career, Prince often wrote music about the Cold War. One such song, termed "Ronnie Talked to Russia," begged then-President Ronald Reagan to negotiate with the Soviet Union before, quote, "it's too late," in Prince's words there. In recent years, Prince devoted many of his concerts to combating what he described as police brutality. In May of last year, Prince held a concert in Baltimore, Maryland. He called it the Rally for Peace. In the concert, he sang a song called "Baltimore," a song about his hopes for justice, love, and peace in that community.
And from ostrich feathers to purple bell-bottoms, Prince made a statement with more than just his music. Fashion designers expressed their sadness and their admiration today for the singer's unique voice and fashion sense. Many believe he challenged gender norms with his colorful suits and, of course, with his signature purple wardrobes. Icons, including Michael Kors, paid tribute to Prince on social media, saying he inspired a generation of fashionistas. And music lovers around the world took to social media to express their love for Prince, but very few of them were able to share their favorite tracks from the singer. Last summer, Prince removed his music from all streaming services except for Tidal. The singer, who was a longtime supporter of the rights of music artists, took a stand against companies like Spotify and Apple Music. Tidal claims 75% of their membership fees are passed on to music labels, who then pass it on to the artists.
And Prince leaves behind award-winning songs that millions will continue to listen to.
We asked some students on campus today to sing one of their favorites.
The kind you find in a second-hand store, raspberry beret. If it was warm, she wouldn't wear much more. Raspberry beret. The kind you find in a second-hand store, raspberry beret. And if it was warm, she wouldn't wear much more. I think I love her.
Well, that's a touching tribute from the next generation of Prince fans, wouldn't you say, Neha?
I certainly would, and no one sings it quite like Prince, but it's certainly a great effort. Thanks for watching See It Live, and from everyone at Annenberg Media, I'm Neha Wadaker.
And I'm Eitan Wallace. You can follow the rest of our content on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.